Hey, what's up? So, I get the question pretty often of how did you go from being a Virginia kid to playing college football in Kentucky to living in Washington, D.C. to now being a fashion photographer in Paris? It sounds like a really weird trip, a really weird journey. I promise it all ties in. So we could start with, wait, I'm still in bed. I'm not doing this in bed. Let's get up, go see Paris, and I'll tell you guys all about it then. All right, let's go.
Is the sun in your
It's me again. No ID again. Yeah. Black heat on the streets of desire. Some got rich and some got priors. My dogs hot barbed wires and steal cars with pliers. Wanna see more and be more like The Wire. Live buyer. Calm from the city is shy, but it's never quiet, huh? This is the noise of suppliers and buyers, gangbangers and shoulda retired, food from deep fryers. I'm getting high, thinking how to reach higher. Bald, but these bras is my Delilah. Samsung pictures, Mo spit scriptures. Shorty's whole liquor, flows get richer. It gets thick like my bro's little sister. Hormones got them thicker quicker. Pure souls that become bold constrictors, mixed up like elixirs, trigger happy in the midst of summer madness.
Alright, so how did I get started? It all started when I was just a wee lad. Alright, so first things first, where am I from? I'm born in Norfolk, Virginia, raised in Chesapeake, between Chesapeake and Norfolk, right? So I went to high school in Chesapeake, played football at Oscar Smith High School, go Tigers, and took a football scholarship to play at the University of Kentucky, Wildcats. Got to Kentucky, 4-year university. I actually finished in 4 years. But the last of my 4 years, I actually got sick with mono. Couldn't play, lost 30 pounds, couldn't do anything. Wake up, go to sleep. Good thing I was fast, really fast. Fast enough where I got workouts with some different teams, pro teams. So I got called up to Chicago, Indianapolis, Detroit, Baltimore, a few teams. And the same thing will happen every single time, which was once we get to the 40-yard dash, hamstring. Either get really sore or, 2 different times it just tore on me. I was in Detroit working out there, and even before I got to the 40, we were just running around playing catch. Felt it. And I'm just like, that's it. I stopped and get gas, and I just remember looking at my reflection in the back of my window and saying, what am I doing? I'm wasting life. I am wasting life chasing this dream. Just do something else. But the question became, what else? What the hell else am I going to do? All I've ever known was football. I didn't know I needed a job. So I drove back to Kentucky. And one of my old teammates was like, well, this is where I work. It sucks, but it's a paycheck. He worked at a federal halfway house, which is basically like a prison without the bars. So I said, all right, I need money. Let's do that. So start doing that, and you literally feel like you're in prison. Like, you spend 16 hours a day there. You get to go out for like an hour. It was just absolutely terrible. And it just wasn't for me. So I figured I needed to find something else to do. At the same time, I would see this officer coming in and out every day, this parole officer, dressed the way he wanted to, no office, and he had a gun. So I'm like, sign me up. I started doing that. I ended up doing it for 3 years. And it's just something about having to arrest people and send them back to prison instead of actually helping them that I just did not like. So problem is, with the sociology degree, you can't really do much except that type of work. So I'm like, well, shit, I guess I need to go back to school. And I wanted to study international relations. Only difference was I didn't want to be in the States. I wanted to travel. That way I'm on vacation at the same time. So with that, it was either, I got my choices down to, okay, I'll either go live in Rome, Paris, or London. Rome, my Italian wasn't good enough. London was way too expensive. Paris it is. I moved to Paris. But just before moving, a few months before, Circuit City had gone out of business. You guys remember that? Why not buy a camera to send pictures to my mom?
I feel it.
So, Circuit City went out of business. So I bought this little Sony A350, Alpha 350. Wasn't the best camera, but I figured I could take pictures, send them home, you know. So everything was looking good, and this was also about the time that me and my then girlfriend had broken up. So I'm like, well, I was like, damn, if I'm gonna move, this is the perfect time to do it. I have no kids, I hate my job, I'm going back to school, and I have no girlfriend. Let's go. I moved to Paris, and once I got here, I just started taking pictures of the city, architecture, landscape, food, pretty much anything I could take pictures of because I never traveled before. And what I would do is I would send these pictures to my mom, you know, just so she could see it. My mom doesn't travel. Well, she didn't travel at the time. And after a while, I'm like, this is annoying. I hate sending these emails all the time with all these pictures in them. So why not just make a website? So I made this website, DeMarcusAllen.com. So I didn't want people to find me by my family name. So I just chose DeMarcus Allen, my middle name. It was easier. Plus it sounded better to me. So I made a website. What I didn't count on though was other people actually seeing the website. So I started to get emails like, hey, these pictures are nice. You should really think about doing this more seriously. So I'm like, okay. So I started taking more and more pictures. But about the 4-month mark I got to, and it was just like, I'm bored. Sick of taking pictures of cities and all these things that have they don't have a feeling in the picture. I need a subject. So I'll try models. Sounds good. I didn't have a portfolio. So most of the pretty much all the models I asked would say, well, you don't have a portfolio, I won't work with you. Duh. Now this was around the same time that I started dating my next girlfriend. So I just asked her one day, I'm like, will you pose for me? She's like, yeah, I guess you're my boyfriend, sure, why not? So she posed for me and I posted those pictures on my website. That's what set it off. What set it off was those new pictures where people really started contacting me. So from there I said, all right, well, let me contact some modeling agencies and see what happens. So I emailed some of them and they would all say, you don't have a book, you don't have a book. So, okay, I'm at the studio one day with a friend of mine who's a photographer and he's shooting. And I just remember saying, damn, I want to do this. And he stopped shooting and he said, you sure? So I'm like, yeah. So he called an agency, they sent a girl over the next day for me to shoot. I don't have to tell you, this is my first shoot. The pictures were terrible. Like I was so embarrassed to send them back to the agency. And I'm just like, they're never gonna call me again. Only they did call me again. They called me the next week to shoot another model. So I'm like, okay, sure, why not? And this just keeps happening. And that's how I got into shooting models. All right, so then with Fashion Week was basically, if you're American, that's your dream. You just want to see the fashion shows. You want to go, you know, and just be a part of it. But when you don't have any contacts and any connections, dead that. It's not happening. So I did what most sensible people would do. I lied. I would contact these designers and I would say, hey, I'm shooting for blah, blah, blah magazine. Is it okay if I come to the show to do the backstage or do the runway? And they would always say yes. Don't lie, but if you do, it'll probably work. So that's how I started getting access to the shows. Then from there, it just grew and grew to where I'm like, okay, well, I'll just start contacting magazines and ask about shooting with them. They would say no, of course, in the beginning. But then eventually it was like, I started to develop my own style. So with that style became, all right, first magazine says, we'll give them a chance. Now I did small magazines, but the first magazine, like, you know, of note was L'Officiel. And they basically said, have you ever shot jewelry? And I said, no, but I can't imagine it's that hard. It was the easiest answer I could come up with. And I still had to show that I was confident. My first real editorial was with almost $10 million in diamonds and jewelry, from Tiffany to Louis Vuitton to Chanel to anything you can name. And we pulled it off. We pulled it off. But mind you, I have a lot of people that email me and say, oh, it seems like you're just blowing up right now, or you're doing more and more. I've been getting no responses in emails for years. Like, I've legit been getting emails declining my work for, shit, we're in 2017. This has been happening since 2011. So, like everyone says, there's no such thing as an overnight success. And for me, for one, I don't even consider myself successful at this point. I'm just starting to consistently work. But it's also true that, you know, the hustle that I've put in, like, you just don't see it. You know, you just see the pictures, but you don't see all the email responses that I get saying, unfortunately, your style doesn't fit and this kind of stuff. And I still get those emails. Still get them every every week. But I just basically wanted to make a video to show you guys kind of my journey through photography, which was football to parole officer and working in prisons to coming to Paris, doing my studies. I did get my degree, but photography just kind of stuck with me, and it's still with me now. Even with fashion, I didn't grow up in fashion. I never cared about it. Even now, sometimes it's kind of hard for me to look at these clothes and get excited the way other people do. But I like creating the emotion and creating the environment of the photos. So this is for everyone who's been asking me how I got into photography. So now you can stop asking me the same fucking question. Nah, thanks everybody. Thanks for listening. See you guys next time. All right, peace.